Hi guys, my name is David and welcome back to my channel. So today I am going to be reviewing The Blade Itself by Joe Abercrombie. This is book 1 in his First Law trilogy. I did this as a buddy read and collaboration with Gabi from Gabi's Arcanum. Gabi is a really fantastic booktuber who I strongly believe doesn't get nearly as much love as she rightly deserves. She is primarily a fantasy channel. She loves her fantasy, she loves her the Name of the Wind, she loves her Harry Potters, she loves her Brandon Sanderson novels, and everything fantasy related pretty much flows through her veins. She embodies everything that is fantasy, more specifically high fantasy, but I believe that she will read anything that is fantasy related. She is so incredible, she gives so much energy and passion, oozes out of her whenever she does her videos. Her thumbnails are incredible, and as always I will have a link down below to her channel, so I would really appreciate it if you would go over to her video. You can do it right now if you want. You can pause this, you can bail out what you want me now and go over to her channel. As I said, a link will be down below in the description, so it'll take you right to her page. Click on that subscribe button, and if you want, come back over here and watch this video. So I'm not sure about how we came to the idea about reading the First Law trilogy. I knew that we both wanted to read it, and this was both of our first time reading a grimdark book. So yeah. This is going to be just my review on this novel. So just a bit of background information, as always, this novel was published on the 4th of May 2006. Yes, this novel was published on Star Wars Day. May the 4th be with you. So let's go straight over to Gabi now, where she'll be telling you her thoughts and feelings about this book as a whole.
Hello guys, this is Gabi from Gabi's Arcanum channel, and today I come to talk a little bit about my thoughts on The Blade Itself by Joe Abercrombie. This is book 1 in the First Law trilogy and my introduction to grimdark. This is the first grimdark book I've ever read, and I wasn't sure if I was going to like it, but I did. We started this buddy read with David on March, and I've had a blast. So much that we decided to keep buddy reading the series. So we get from the beginning that this is a really dark world with dark characters where morality is a really ambiguous thing, and I found it so interesting. It has its flaws, yes. The plot is almost non-existent and the world building is pretty vague. But I have the feeling that this is intentional, that Joe Abercrombie wanted to settle up other things before getting into the story itself. I rated this book 4 stars out of 5 in Goodreads, mainly because of these flaws, but the writing and the character work are just amazing. His writing is gorgeous and blunt, and I loved it, especially concerning his characters. His characters are so well realized. It must be one of the best character works I've seen in fiction so far, and that's saying something. His characters are so flawed, their moral is really questionable, they're really dark, and yet I got so attached to them. I root for them, and I am a character reader, and that's exactly what I'm looking for when I read characters in a book. So yes, I love this book, and I'm really excited to keep reading it with David next month. And if you want to see my more in-depth thoughts, I think my channel will be linked in the description, and the video will be up there, as well as other book reviews that I've made before. So see you there.
Thanks for that, Gabi, and if you want to know what my thoughts were for this book, then please check out Gabi's video. As I said, the link will be down below. So before I tell you what the overall story and my overall experiences with this novel were, this is going to be a spoiler-free video as always, and this is going to be my own thoughts and feelings regarding this novel. I also want to give a little bit of a warning here that I know that the First Law trilogy is deeply loved amongst fantasy fans, and my feelings were, with this book was extremely positive, but they were very mixed. Just keep in mind, guys, that I have only read the first novel. Also, because this is a fantasy book, most of the names, well, all of the names rather, are made up. So if I pronounce someone's name wrong or slightly wrong, then apologies for that, but I will have their names up on the screen so you know who I mean. So this book doesn't have much of a plot, if any. It doesn't have a plot whatsoever. The world in this story is extremely brutal and dark. It's pretty much in the same setting as a Lord of the Rings or a Witcher novel. And the world as a whole is extremely brutal, and it doesn't take any prisoners. It does have slavery in this book, so be warned if that may trigger you. It does swear a lot in this book, so if you are triggered by swear words, be warned with that. And obviously, because this is a grimdark book, it does have loads of fight scenes and violence. And yes, I did read this on my Kindle. And in this world, it is split up into two areas, the north and the south, which are two different kingdoms, and they both strongly dislike each other. Throughout this novel, people in the north are regarded as being savages and barbarians and not very civilized people. Where in the south, people aren't really that good or better, but they do think of themselves as being superior to people in the north, and they are constantly wanting to go to war with each other and with these two kings from these different kingdoms, and you know that at one point they are going to have a massive battle. So that is our main world where all of our characters reside in. So this book doesn't really have a once upon a time beginning or a in a galaxy far, far away start. It doesn't introduce you slowly to this world. It picks you up and chucks you in at the deep end. And on page 1, we see who I'm going to classify as our main character, who is called Logan Ninefingers. Logan is a barbarian or a warrior or a ranger or a wilderness man or whatever you want to refer him to as. He has spent the majority of his time in the wilderness, and he feels more comfortable in that situation. At the start of the book, he is being chased by all these creatures that basically want to kill him and rip him apart and all that wonderful stuff. And he's just trying to evade them and escape this situation. Logan isn't really good, but he is, as I said, he is the closest thing that we have to as a hero figure. But he's not really good or evil. He's kind of you're in the middle somewhere. And there is a point in this book where he is taken to a city, and he hasn't been in a city for a while, and he's really taken aback by all the crowds and everything around him, and the plumbing and the buildings and everything that's happening around him. He is at a loss. He doesn't know what to do, but he is a very fierce warrior. So we spend a lot of time with Logan. Another character that we spend a lot of time with is Dan Glotta, or Glotta as he's referred to in the book. Glotta is a torturer. He is my favourite character in this book by far. He is a cripple. He has a cane or a stick, and he walks with a limp, and he has missing teeth, and he is in constant pain and agony all the time. Glotta was previously a warrior that was actually wounded in a battle in this world's past, and which has actually left him in the condition that we see him in this novel. And as I said, he is a torturer for the king, and his job is to question and torture people that he suspects of treason, and people that are trying to evade like taxes and all that type of stuff. He doesn't really enjoy his work or his job, but he's extremely efficient at it, and that's all he knows. As I said, all he has known for many years is pain and agony and misery, and that's all he knows. He isn't really that bad guy, but he is a bad guy, if that makes sense. It's kind of weird to explain it, but I really love him. He is a loner. He is sitting by himself a lot, and he's one of these people which I would like to be his friends, but you would have to watch yourself around Glotta, because he could easily stab you in the back, and he does things for his own advantage. But he isn't just a black and white evil character. He is extremely layered, and I love him to bits. Every single chapter that I read that had him in it, I found new things about him, and I loved him so much. There was a character. I mean, there was a chapter in this book where we found out that after the war, when he was injured, one of his friends wanted to visit him, and Glotta's mother, who didn't want that person to visit him. So Glotta believed all this time that his friend abandoned him, and when he discovers that that wasn't the case, the sense of friendship rises up in him, and it's really great. It's actually really, really great. I really love this character so much, and he is just so super detailed. So one of the other main characters in this book that we follow is someone called Jezel Dan Luther. I probably butchered that name completely. Apologies for that. He is a captain and a soldier who is constantly training to be a warrior and training for this contest to be like the best warrior and to win this competition, and all that type of stuff. He is extremely good looking. He constantly refers to his looks. He sees looks as above everything else. He's extremely shallow. Yes, you do become to like his character. He has been trained by this person called West, who I cannot remember his first name, but West, you know who I mean. He actually falls in love with West's sister as well, and that kind of has a conflict within this. It doesn't really have like a romantic thing in it. It's not really. They just like each other, or he likes her. But me and Gabi both found him to be extremely dull, and he was my least favourite character throughout this book. We also have a female ex-slave called Pharaoh, who is a assassin, and she was a slave, and she is trying to avenge what happened to her and everyone that enslaved her. She has a very she's actually a killer. She is extremely narrow-minded. All she wants to do is kill, and that's all she wants to do. But there is a character in this book who she meets at the start, and which kind of reins her in and tries to say, right, like, you can't go around killing people. There is a process to this type of stuff. And he kind of takes her underneath her wing. I liked her character, but I felt that I didn't get enough time with her, but I can't wait to read more of her character in the next books. Another character who I actually found incredibly interesting, who I didn't really spend much time with, is called the Dogman. Now, at the start of the book, Logan is presumed dead by his group of friends, who is led by this character called the Dogman. Now, this group of friends believe that Logan is dead. They believe that he is dead or missing, and they think that they will never find their leader again. And the Dogman has taken up the rightful, role of being the leader, and he is a strong and fierce friend towards Logan. And also, Logan believes that the Dogman and his friends have also died, so that's kind of their thoughts about that. The Dogman and his friends are, as I said, extremely fierce warriors. They get into fights a lot, and I would have liked to see a bit more of him. I did like his character, but I would have liked to see a bit more of the Dogman's character. Next, we have Boyz. Once again, apologies if I've pronounced that name wrong. He is a wizard. Yes, we have wizards and magic in this world. Well, sort of anyway. At the start, we are introduced to spirits who are more like ghosts, and they overwatch everything as far as I'm aware. And you have fire spirits and It's not explained super detailed, it is touched on very briefly in this book. It's not like Brandon Sanderson's Mistborn where it's heavily magic based, or there is a form of magic that is like really set out in this world. For the most part, I mean, there are wizards in this book, and Boyz is one of them, and yes, he does use magic in this book. But for the most part, people prefer to use an axe or a sword to get the job done. But I found his character to be very interesting, but once again, I would have liked to see a bit more of his character. And next we have is Bedford, who is the King of the North. We didn't see much of him, but I would like to see more of him in the next books, and to have his character a bit more fleshed out. The King of the South isn't any better. The King of the South is more like this obese man who is always sleeping, and like he feels extremely disinterested in everything that's happening around him. You're like, okay, why is everyone like so protective over this king when he just seems to be a fat slob and just doesn't really do that much? But yeah, next we have is, as I said, West's sister, who I am not even going to try to pronounce her name, probably RD, I think it is. She is the love interest towards Jezal, who, once again, apologies if I've pronounced some names wrong. She is kind of a like a pretty girl at first, but she becomes really like strong-minded, especially when her brother says, "Oh, you cannot date this person, or I forbid you to." She is really interesting. She's actually really cool. She did make Jezal's character a bit more tolerable than at the beginning, but is still annoying. So I cannot wait to have that character a bit more fleshed out as the next two books unfold. So that is all the characters that are within this world, and a little bit about what this world is like as a whole. They are separate characters, and they all have their own separate chapters throughout this book. Some of them do come together at the end, but this book gives me the impression that it's supposed to be giving you like a taste of this world, and like here is what this world is like, here is what these characters are like, and some of these characters and their motivations. And it's supposed to like entice you. I believe that the next book, which I cannot remember the name of, but I will put it here, has more of a plot, and I cannot wait to read that one in May. So I cannot wait to get to that one. So what I liked about this book is that obviously the characters, this is a character driven story. If you are a plot driven reader, then you're not going to get much of this, but I prefer plots and characters to be equal. I'm not a character driven reader, or I'm not a plot driven reader. I am both, as they both need to be equal. The characters in this are extremely enjoyable to read, apart from the odd one or two that I didn't like. But I liked these are characters that like this world, and this was a really interesting book, and I cannot wait to read the other books in the series, and I'm also planning to read the spin-offs books as well. And when it comes to what I disliked for this novel, as I said, this doesn't really have much of a plot, so it doesn't have something that anchors you to the story, such as like a character that has to take a magical ring and destroy it, or a young wizard who has to overcome the powers of a dark wizard who killed his parents. It doesn't have a overall plot that grounds you into the story, and yes, it does have all these side characters and plots within that main story. It's actually a great novel, it really is, but when you get into it, just keep that in mind. So I didn't really have much to complain about with this novel, apart from the fact that it didn't have an overall plot in this novel, but when you start reading it, you get used to that. So I am going to rate the Blade itself 3.5 stars out of 5. I know, you're probably saying, David, this is an easy 5-star read, but I wanted to give it a fair score in my opinion, because I know that the next books are going to be even better, and my ratings for them will be higher. And I know that when I give this book a reread, my rating for it will go up. I will enjoy it more on a reread, but currently right now on my first reads of this novel, it's going to get a 3.5 stars out of 5. So that's it guys, that is my review on The Blade Itself by Joe Abercrombie, the first book in the First Law trilogy. If you have enjoyed this video, please give it a like, comment down below, let me know if you've read this, if you enjoyed it, if you didn't enjoy it, let me know what characters you liked more than others. And let me know if maybe I've inspired you to pick this book up. Once again, I've only read the first book once, and but I am extremely interested in reading the other 2 books as well as the spin-off books. If you have liked this video as a whole, please consider subscribing to my channel as it helps out so much. If you do subscribe, please click on that bell so it reminds you about whenever I upload videos, which are always Monday and Friday. And once again, I will have a link down below to Gabi's channel and to her collaboration video. It will be down below. It's just a click away, and I would really appreciate it if you would go over there right after this video or even now and subscribe to her channel and watch her video or videos. Give her loads of comments, give her loads of thumbs up, and give her as much love as she rightly deserves. I will also have a link down below to my Goodreads account in case you want to follow me on Goodreads, and it will take you right to my page and it will tell you what I'm currently reading, and you can message me and all that great stuff. And with all that out of the way, have a great day, read some awesome books, and I will see you all in my next video.